Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day number 7 of the eBay Mastermind. Today, I'm going to do an open Q&A and just get some questions from people and some things that we can focus on. I did get some of your videos of people filming the process. And as you guys know, those are my favorite kinds of videos because we can really see what you're doing, and that really helps out. So we'll go over some of those later after I set them up in order. Does anybody have any questions right now they want to start with? Let's see. Promote everyone. So, go ahead, Ben.
Hey, I haven't really had a chance to introduce myself. Thanks so much for Chris for
Go ahead, Ben. Introduce yourself. Where do you live? What do you do?
And I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here for sure, and learn so much this last week from all you guys. We uniquely do is vintage home decor. So a lot of figurines, breakable pieces that we can find at a small value. And our rule is kind of, when I'm learning a lot from this, but my rule is generally 10 times the value of what I want to sell it for, sometimes 5, but over 25. But that's been our model. But of course, I'm learning so much here today. We've only been doing this about 2 years, really, in the United States, the last 5, because we started in Canada, had a restart basically when we moved to the States 5 months ago. So everything's pretty new, but it is, my husband and I work together. So I have a full-time job, and this is basically his full-time job, but we work and do different aspects. He does a lot of the sourcing, research, and posting, which is like a lot of the things. But then I kind of follow up behind and do cross posting, which I'd love to hear some thoughts on that using Vindu. And it's been really, really amazing, that software, to help and make it really easy. But I know there's some downsides too that I'd love to hear your thoughts on. But yeah, thanks so much. I think the help that is being given is, how do you scale that? Obviously, that's a question mark. And then I do live in an area that does have a lot of the opportunities to source, which I'm grateful for. But all your feedback and interactions have been really kind and generous. Really appreciate it. So thanks so much for including me in the mentorship program.
What's the size of your store currently?
We have 650 items in the store of eBay.
Okay. How do you guys divide the responsibilities?
Often we have a location that we can literally be at, and he will be sourcing, and then I will be either cleaning up posts from the past based on some of the feedback. But okay, how do we generally do it? He does the sourcing. He'll do then the photography and research. Then I will take the cross post and add it more the details based on what I also know. But then he also does the shipping. So he does most of the work, but I'd probably do this type of thing, the research. How do we improve? What different methods can we do? So a lot of the weight and responsibility definitely is on him, and he's been following along as well in the background. But I would say this is just to be honest, he posts to Mercari directly on the phone because it's really simple to post. And then I take that and I fill out with more time the eBay post properly with more details, all the categories. And that method has allowed us to get those objects through pretty quickly under that 1 minute. And then I can invest that a second minute probably to post it onto eBay.
So my thoughts there are, Mercari's traffic is front loaded. So they'll give you, let's say you have 100 to 200 views that you get per listing. On eBay, they'll spread it out evenly every day. And on Mercari, it's like the first week or two, you get the heavier promotion. So on Mercari, a lot of people who sell on there have software that delists it and relists it again. So Mercari thinks it's a new item. Although Mercari is a software company, so they know when you do that. So it's not. That's why relist on eBay is very popular, because it's really lazy. So people love not doing any more work and just delisting and relisting, and it's better than nothing, but it's not better than a new item. So Mercari is challenging for me because it doesn't have a lot of store features. So I would almost say list everything on eBay only, and instead of having a 600 item store that's on Mercari and eBay, I would have 1,000 or 1,200 item store on eBay only. It would take less time than delisting, cross-listing. And then if you decide to switch to listing on a computer with and just have your partner take the photos, it will be really fast. That's the but it is a big transition going from it's a big transition going from phone Mercari to eBay first and only. Now, I don't have my I'm actually planning on cross listing when I start my Poshmark closet, but it's because I'll have more than one of the same item. So
Right. You don't have to worry about an accidental double purchase moment. Yeah.
yeah,
That's really good
and
insights.
that will help. Go ahead.
No, I was thinking that's really good insights. We are on Whatnot as well, and I've been running some of those auctions, and that's been fun to learn and see. But of course, until you get a larger following, the level of bidding is going to be lower. So that's been tricky with kind of a new category, home decor on Whatnot. But I really appreciate that. And honestly, the last week, 2 weeks, eBay has, because of the tips you've been giving, eBay has improved. We have seen more sales come in. And so it is definitely working. Taking the time, posting healthy listings is worth it than just throwing things up without all the details. It's really good.
You will get more sales on Poshmark and eBay I'm sorry, Mercari and Poshmark. You will get more results sooner, but it caps. Because as you get more items on Poshmark, you can't share them as often. And then on Mercari, the algorithm is heavily based on what was recently listed.
Perfect.
Yep. Also, I'm working on sharing contact information with everybody in this group. I just have to be careful because it is relatively sensitive. Let's see here. I think for starters, I would start slow and maybe 5 photos a day, 5 sets of photos, you list straight on eBay instead of completely redoing it. And then after you get going in this group and learn the fastest way, hopefully the 5 listings will only take you half an hour. And then you can slowly ease into that. And if your partner can just be photographs sourcing, that will make him more efficient. He'll buy more stuff, store will grow, because ultimately a 1,200 item store will be twice the income.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful.
There's like Hannah wanted to replace her income. She needs 10,000 listings. So she needs a roadmap. And that would definitely take less time than her current job. Like required more work to get there than 10,000 listings. I think you can do in a couple of years if you start from now.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's go with Brittany. Brittany, what's up?
Just kind of on that cross listing note. So I cross list my eBay listings to Poshmark, and I do them like in chunks. So I'll photograph 10, list 10, immediately cross list those 10. I'm pretty good about every day when I do my shipping, pulling them from either platform. But I'm wondering if it's kind of like a waste of my time. I have decent sales on Poshmark, but they're still about a sixth of my eBay sales. So I'm just wondering, like, is it worth it to keep doing that, even though I do make a decent like side income on Poshmark, or am I kind of wasting my time when I could just be listing more stuff on eBay?
When we started this group, I was doing 40,000 on eBay a month and 20,000 a month on Poshmark. And then when I stopped doing Poshmark, my sales went over 100,000 on eBay. So because the focus and learning how to be efficient and not having to spend any time cross listing or any time thinking about how to get around the problem of Poshmark's sharing limit. Like it's not so much the sharing limit as it is like when you're small, you can share the same item 100 times.
Yeah.
When you have a bigger store, you can't do that. So can't game the algorithm.
Right.
So I would say also the mental, like not having the, I'd rather you spend money on more inventory that's better than a sharing tool, whether it's a VA or whatever. And then I'm a little worried about, like they are trying to actually make Poshmark a better experience for the end user, but they're meeting resistance from the Poshmark sellers. So I think eventually Poshmark will be able that you'll be able to return your items and sharing will go away. And when they do that, the platform will be way better. So I'm hoping that then it might be worth it to be Poshmark only, in my opinion.
So if
But for now, I think the extra time, it is
right.
weird getting rid of 1/6 of your sales, but I think it's necessary.
Okay. So if I choose to stop cross-listing, do I just leave all my stuff up there that I have and just like let it be? And if it sells, it sells, and just, or would you like shut down your Poshmark store?
I kept extending the vacation mode and then
Okay.
I just forgot about it. I
Okay.
wish there's an easier way to delist the whole thing.
Yeah.
How many items are on there now?
About a little over 1,000. Same with my eBay store. They're all over there.
Got you. That's another thing that I noticed with cross-listing. People rarely get over 1,000 listings. I'd say the only exception to the rule is Vogue Squared has a huge store on eBay and Poshmark. So that's rare. And I think if you're going to do that, you have to have his strategy, which is pricing really high. Then it's worth it. Like if you're going to price
all my stuff on Poshmark
really high,
higher than eBay.
yeah. I don't know how actually he was able to do a big store, but his sell-through rate's really slow. I wouldn't recommend that unless you have a lot of space. Let's see. Arwen dropped Depop a couple of months ago and dedicated full attention on eBay, and your sales exploded. Let's see. Nina was 50-50 and she dropped Posh, and now she makes more than back. Yeah, it only took me 2 months to make more on just eBay, dropping Poshmark. I was actually very irresponsible with it. I didn't keep up with it. Mercari too. When I first, like maybe a year before we started the group, I was on Mercari, Poshmark, and eBay, every single listing across all three. And I used a robot to do it. It was a headache. And I made less money. It's weird that making less money is doing less things, but that's how it works. Hannah, what's up?
Hey, morning, everybody. So I have a question about doing line by line accounting.
Yep.
So I'm still pretty small. I've only been doing it for like 3 months or whatever. I have like a 200 item store. So I've sold, I think at this point I've sold about 200 as well. And I'm still doing like line by line, every single item individually on an Excel sheet. This is how much it costs. This is how much it shipped for. So I know my profit exactly per item. And that takes a lot of time. I feel like it's a big roadblock for me when it comes to like when I get inventory, I can't photograph it and put it away and list it until I've put it on my Excel sheet. And so it's creating like that's my squeeze point. But I also find that information so extremely helpful, especially because I haven't niched down yet. So I'm still trying to decide where my biggest profit margins are, where things are turning over the fastest. Like I still want all that data and information. So I'm wondering, I guess, what is your input on like, when can I stop doing that? When should I stop doing that? When is enough? Because like, I'm a data person. I want all the numbers. I want all the information because I want to make the smartest, most efficient choice every time. So when should I stop doing that?
How much time do you have each week, and are you using all of it for right now?
Yes, I'm using all my time.
Okay, so what we need is proof of concept. So I would say while you're figuring out which niche, it's okay to be small, even 100 items. Do line by line, figure out which items allow you to combine shipping and increase your order size. Like, because that's what happens. If everyone can get to the point where their average order size is 2 or 3, then you start saving money on shipping. You start saving money when you buy it because you can buy more in bulk. You develop a reputation, so you get repeat customers, which you don't need to spend as much time doing stuff. So line by line allows you to see what products you can give the best deal on and still make a profit. And that's where you want to offer your services. So whatever you can carry, but I recommend people do it in the beginning so they can learn everything. I do it by category and only takes an hour a year to do accounting. But if you do per piece, I would say it takes maybe up to a minute per item, which I think is worth it in the beginning, 3 minutes a day. And that's like a college level course in business, if you can just do that for the first little bit.
So it sounds like it's worth it in college. I guess I knew was the answer, right? It's worth it till it's not.
It's worth it. Yeah, my internet's not the best today. It's 100% worth it. Under 1,000 items.
Okay.
Chad, what's up?
Something along Hannah's point, something that I did, and I'm not perfect with numbers, but I do love the data and analyzing. So what I did early on was try to figure out like how much profit I'd like to make, per item, and then I figured out all the eBay fees kind of based on that and my average sell price, and just got some ballpark figures. And then when I'm like out sourcing or picking or whatever, I can look at an item, and if it's $2, I have a number in my head. I think it's like between 15 and 18. I said, if I can add $15 to $18 and I think someone would pay that amount for whatever I'm buying, then I'll get it. And then I don't have to worry about doing the line by line maybe until later. So I at least know everything that's sitting ready to be listed. I can make a profit on it. I'm not having to like do super analytics. I know that's not like probably the best way, but when you're outsourcing, you're trying to, hit as much spots as possible. I can be like, okay, $2 plus 15 is 17. Yeah, I'd pay $17 for this. Let me grab it.
Yeah, I would say it depends on what level you want to get to. For Hannah, because she's trying to run a 7-figure store, you need to know your numbers exactly, like to the penny. How much profit on average is a certain item, because it allows you to buy bulk, process in bulk. You need to know your numbers really, really well if you're going to play 7-figure game. Now, if you're small though, you can just say, I buy everything under 10, I sell everything over 30, and then just call it a day. Don't need to do anything else beyond that, because you're not, doesn't matter. You don't need to be that granular if you're not buying bulk or have employees or want to scale. And that's the problem with YouTube advice, is every single advice works when you're small. It just doesn't work when you're bigger. When you're bigger, you have to niche down. You have to pick a specific category. You have to know line by line what things are worth. Then you can move away from line by line, but you have. Bethany, what's up?
For eBay, I almost always sell only one item at a time. And I'm wondering what kind of the best move is to start getting, larger cart sizes. And, I've tried a couple of coupons, but I'm not super up on the best way to use those yet. So I was just wondering what your kind of advice is for that.
Okay. So I have a 3 part plan. Okay. Offer to watcher. Individual. Message. That's one. The second one is combined shipping discount. And the third one is message customer after the sale. The head coupon. Okay, so this is a 3-part plan to increase average order size. Send offer to watchers individually. So when you guys do that feature, if you do it one by one, it will give you the option to click automatically send. So that means when the customer is holding their phone and they make an offer or they look at an item, they will immediately get a ping saying, do you want to buy this for X amount off? So offer to watcher individually combined shipping discount, and message the customer after the sale with a heavy coupon. You will increase your order size immediately if you guys start doing that. Those will immediately start working. And then long term, it's just lots of the same item in your store. That's really the key.
With the offers to watchers, is there any benefit to including a message that says something along the lines of, I have a large store, check out my other items for combined shipping or something along those lines?
You need to be very clear in one line what the discount is. So for me, I did two or more items shipped for $9.99.
Yeah.
So add a couple to your cart, and then that will be, because people don't read. So once you have one sentence.
Okay.
Yep. And I think building that repeat customer base right now, right after the sale, eBay is asking the customer, do you want to save this seller? They didn't do that before. So that's new. They're trying to build repeat.
Yeah, I've noticed I've gotten more. Yeah.
And if you guys have a question.
Chris, on the send to offers to watchers individually. So like I'll have an item that'll have like, are you talking about like, because there's like interested buyers and then you can send an offer to them. Is that different from like watchers? Because I think that's different. I'm not sure. Can you explain that a little bit?
Offer to watcher goes somebody who's viewed your item or watched your item. So that's a live customer that's shown interest in your item. So I would send them an offer immediately so that they wanted to buy the item at 20, you send them a 20% off. It's 16 now. They should be. Offer, you will get more sales. See your offer as the best offer that you can offer. And if they really want to counter offer, they'll counter offer anyway. They'll message you. So don't worry. Great. Angela, did you figure out a way to do your listings before or after this call?
Yesterday I did do the listings right after. I did about like 5 right after. I didn't get a chance to do it this morning, but I do plan on doing it after this call. So
okay. Wasey, what's up?
Hey, I got a question about the sell-through rate. So if I have 275 active and then 142 sold, I came up with 34%. But if that's over a 2-month period, I bet my eBay store has been open 2 months. So do I divide that by 60 to get the actual rate, or is it still divided by 30?
Can you repeat that?
So my sell-through rate over 60 days is 34%. Now, do I divide that by 60 since it's over 2 months?
You divide it by 2, so it's 17% each month.
Oh, okay.
Or you can divide it by 60 to figure out what it is per day, which is 0.5%, which I consider excellent. So 0.5 to 1% sell-through rate, I consider excellent. Okay. Which you are
now,
right now.
If I started out with 250 DVDs and now I'm done with those and I'm moving on to clothing, so I would imagine it's going to be a totally different business now, right? Like those numbers kind of don't matter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's different.
Okay.
Because if you list $100 bills for $90 free shipping, they all sell every day.
Yeah.
And if you list rare teacups that are made out of plastic from the 1980s, they still don't sell, even at $1 free shipping. Nobody wants that. So it's going to affect it if you change your category big time.
Okay. And then I was also wondering.
There's nothing wrong. Oh. Go ahead.
So because I'm listing, I kind of got a bunch of different stuff going. Is it important to list, like, for example, like one jacket a day, like maybe one pair or like a couple pairs of jeans, like throwing in different types of clothing. And then like if I have collectibles, like or shoes, like do one, like a pair of shoes every, like, because I'm trying to do 10 listings. Is it important to try and get something from each of those categories in, or does that matter?
It matters if you list something that sells immediately and then the next day you list something that doesn't sell, you're confusing the algorithm. So ideally you would enter in the same kind of items every day, because eBay robot trying to match customers with you. But if you do something, you list the same mix of items every day, it's not easy. But I'm telling you, like, why I put in here, there's nothing wrong with being an everything store. It's just difficult to scale because you need different kinds of storage systems, different kind of listing, different kind of photos. So really, I think around 3,000 items is the limit. If you're going to sell all random things, 30 a day is pretty much the limit. I think you start to hit yourself after listing 30 completely random things. So but you can make six figures with that model. 3,000 items, 30 sales a day. And if you list something hot, it will sell right away. If you list something not as hot, it will take longer than 3 months to sell, which is fine. It all averages out, especially if you think of the problem is, I think a lot of people, and this might be a bigger problem for Ben, there might be an item that he buys for $5 or $10 that's worth 100 or 200, but might take a year to sell. So that makes it more challenging. That's why I would never use Mercari if I was selling that kind of stuff, home decor. Like, you may have a really cool piece, but you just need a certain person to see it, and that might take time. Can't wait till my internet is better. This is super weak. Sorry, guys. Wacy, do you have more questions or follow
up? No.
All right, Hannah.
So my next question is about, because you mentioned the other day that fact that you came upon that like 40% of sales are on the first page.
Yep.
And obviously, ways to get on the first page, like, have a great listing, have great photos, have a great title, etc. But what about, like, how does promoted listing play into that?
Promoted listings let you buy your way to the top. And then if you do a good job and you're competitive with the rest of the offerings, you will get the sale more often. And the promoted listings changes June 1st, where they charge the promoted listings fee on the entire amount. And I kind of cheated that because I charged $8.99 shipping. So I only paid the promoted listings fee on the cost of the item and not the $8.99 fee. But it's switching to, they're charging everything, the promoted listings fee. So you need to be careful. So with promoted listings, my tip is you need to figure out what tier works for you. So I went to promoted listings like Camp, and they said that at a certain price point, you get most of the promoted listings traffic boost. And above that, you're just wasting money. So that's why it's also important to niche down, because if you sell in 20 different categories, you'd have to optimize promoted listings for 20 different categories, which is really hard. Like something rare doesn't need promoted listings, because back to your question, Hannah, if there's only 20 available, all of them are on the first page.
Right.
You don't need promoted listings. If there's 20,000 available, you might need promoted listings because you're not going to show up on the first page without that.
Okay, so it sounds like it's more about, how available your item is. I mean, obviously, good picture, good title, all that stuff, but like how available your item is to make sure you get whether promoted listings is going to be worth it or not.
So this, my example on this would be Madewell. Madewell is a really popular brand. If you sell Madewell cheap, you don't need promoted listings. But if you want to get all the money, you want $80 for your Madewell dress, you better do promoted listings, because it won't. That's too much. That's like if it's 150 at the store, they don't want to pay 80 for a used one. So you need to buy that traffic, or no one will look at it. I've seen people promote as high as 50% on clothing and they still get sales. But that's crazy. Imagine paying eBay 62, 63% of the sale. Nina, what's up?
Hello? Can
Yep,
you hear me?
what's up? Mhm.
First of all, Chris, thank you so much for choosing me for this opportunity. You and I, we met during the reseller rally in Chicago. I'm from Chicago, and
Mhm.
back in 2017. And I've actually been selling since about 2014 online. I started on Amazon, did pretty good, discovered that you can sell clothing, and got into that on eBay. And I can tell you that I've watched you over these past years just really accelerate and soar in this. And I think it's because you put your heart and soul into it full time and really dug deep to learn more about the reselling business, from talking to other resellers to doing your own research and experimentation. And it has really helped me, and I'm sure many other resellers. I'm stuck, and I want to try to fix my store because I have some really lofty goals and aspirations for reselling. What's driving me to resell is that I invested in some real estate, some distressed properties, and I want to rehab them. I have in Chicago, we call them 3 flats or 2 flats. I have a 3 flat and I have a single family home that needs to be basically gutted and rehabbed. And I want to be able to finance that myself. But again, my store seems to be stuck. And one of the reasons is that I'm not listing consistently. I've been listing since like 2017, and I currently have like 2,600 listings, but I'm not listing every day. There's moments when I have these long streaks where I'm listing every day, 20, 25, 10, 30, very inconsistently. And then sometimes I don't list at all. So I'm trying to become a more consistent lister. I'm on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. In the beginning, when I started listing for about 2 or 3 years, I was doing my listings without any bots or any listing services. And I was listing simultaneously on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And I was able to do that in about 6 minutes, to create one listing on 3 platforms in 6 minutes. And I just consistently built my inventory. Since then, I've kind of pulled back from Mercari and I pulled back from Poshmark and haven't listed there in a while. So a lot of my energy and effort has really been on eBay. So that's one reason why I'm stuck. I think it's because of my listing isn't consistent. The other challenge that I have, this is challenge number 2, is that when I started listing, I was sourcing like crazy. And I actually have a store front and now a storage space. My storage space is filled with inventory. So I haven't been to the thrift store in probably 2 years. I can just go in there, pull a bin. Most of the stuff is, most of it is new with tags because I sourced really, really well. And I can just pull a bin and just work on it, list it, and go. So inventory is not a problem. Even if I ran out of inventory, which I can't see that happening until probably sometime next year if I list consistently. I'm in Chicago, so the resources for sourcing is bananas. There's so many resources. It's unbelievable. So that's one thing. That's the second thing. The third thing I'm working with is a challenge that happened recently. I have a storefront, and I was using that to do listing, store inventory, shipping. And on Friday, I had a massive leak that the water, so my inventory was originally in plastic bins, and I switched to your process of putting them in those 10 by 30 boxes, just so it can help me pull inventory quicker. And had a massive leak coming from the ceiling from the condos above me, and it ruined the inventory in the middle section of 2,600 listings. So probably about 1,000 listings got wet exteriorly, but I still go through them just to make sure that the water hasn't damaged the inventory. So with those 3 challenges, I just want to be able to fix my store. I do this full time. I don't have any kids at home, so no need to somewhat be pulled away from this. But
what does the brick and mortar do?
Well, originally the brick and mortar was where I set up shop. I started off doing it in my house, didn't like it, bought the brick and mortar at an auction, loved the space, 1,500 square feet, and I moved everything there. But since this incident happened on May, I started moving all the inventory out because this leak happened and it's leaked before. So I just, at this point, I'm going to do something different with the brick and mortar. Just because I don't want to risk.
The brick and mortar is not open.
No. I had intentions to do that eventually, especially in the community where it is. It's a underserved community that could use a thrift store type of business. But at this point, until we can resolve some of the plumbing in the building, it's not going to happen. So I started moving everything out into storage. But my inventory is massive. I have like 4,000 bikinis, dead stock. I have shoes, clothes, jackets. I recently came across a deal with DVDs. Most of them were like brand new. So I have a ton of inventory. But I remember in one video, Chris, you talked about not hiring help until you can do it yourself. And I want to get to that point where I can do this myself. Consistently listing a minimum of 30 items a day, and just really getting the momentum in my store and the sales to match the efforts of listing consistently every day. And then I can think about adding additional help.
Okay. You definitely do not want to hire someone. That will make it much worse.
Yeah.
Because and then how many items are you selling right now per day?
It varies. Like yesterday I had like 8 sales. I've gone as high as 20, I think, and sometimes I can get no sales. My sales are very inconsistent, but I think it matches my listing in many ways.
Okay. You already know what you need to do to fix it, because you've outlined it a little bit. It's essentially inconsistency. Mm-hmm. Like it only takes 1 week for eBay to forgive you and turn your traffic back on. You just have to list consistently. So if you listed 30 a day for a week, new mm-hmm. items, your store would turn back on. Your sales would be great again. So people who are going on vacation or your sales are slow, you're only 1 week away from your store being fine. And you just have way too many variables. Buying is definitely your problem. It's a huge problem. You don't want to have random categories especially random categories of great stuff, because then you're emotionally attached. No one wants to donate valuable stuff,
Yeah.
even in a different category.
Mhm.
So I would go on Facebook Marketplace, liquidate everything that's not what category you want to pick, and I would shut the store down and start over. If you don't, like, it will only take you 2 or 3 weeks to get to 8 sales a day starting over. If you shut your whole store down and start listing 30 a day, in 2 weeks you'd start getting 4 or 5 sales a day, and you could start over with a new system. You can't operate somewhere with a leak. That doesn't work.
Right.
So you gotta get out of that lease as soon as possible. Shutting your whole store down, there's nothing wrong with it. Your store recovers quickly if you do it all right. I shut my store down in November, switched all to the same inventory system, and my sales recovered in just like 3 months. So you don't have to, and that's like all the way back up. You can get traction again after just 2 or 3 weeks. Just like, this is a great analogy to working out. It doesn't do anything until like the 3rd or 4th week. You start seeing a tiny bit of results, but you don't see anything the first 3 weeks. That's why people aren't consistent, because they're like, oh, I've been consistent since last Thursday. That's only like not very long. Or I've been consistent for 2 months, but I listed 7, but
Can you tell me a little bit more about shutting the store down? Does that mean taking all the listings down and relisting them 30 a day? Because again, they're labeled and packaged like this,
take everything out. Take everything out of the package. Start completely over. Because a third of the inventory is wet. How can you even?
Well, that inventory I've separated, so that anything that's wet has been separated from what was saved. So that's not it. That's not an issue. I've actually started taking them down because I have the printout of what was damaged. I guess the question is, do I take all the listings down, save them, save the information, start over? You're saying start over?
You have to inspect all the inventory.
Right. But I'm saying, like for example, today I'm working on I'm moving forward. So today, like, I'm working on new inventory. So I photographed and bagged and tagged 30 new items.
Yeah.
So I would take all my listings down and then just start anew with 30.
You would take everything down, and then you would start with 30 a day, take everything out of the bags, redo it, list your best items first without, actually, it doesn't even matter if you're a good buyer, then all the items are fine. And it doesn't take very long for your store to rebound. The problem is you might get not motivated 20 days from now and stop listing consistently. And then that all goes to shit. You have to be consistent. Pick a 30 a day listing goal. That's too high. I would think the bull to get your habit built.
What number you think?
Happens? You shut your store down. 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah, I would start with building consistency habit first. That's all you need. I know it's weird, right? Because I met you 5 years ago. Last 5 years, all I've been doing is removing things. I haven't been adding anything. I've consistently been reducing. In the beginning, I was like, I'm going to do Amazon merch. I'm going to make my own t-shirts. I'm going to do Amazon merchant fulfilled. I'm going to do Amazon FBA. I'm going to make my own products, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Vinted, Tradesy. I'm going to do all of it. I'm going to do YouTube, right? I'm going to start, and it doesn't work. Like now I only do 3 things 5 years later. So it's really been reduced, and there's less headaches. I get more done. When I look at now, I get more done in a day than I did in a month before. That's how dramatic it is. It's really interesting that you can And it's just from too much stuff. You have too much stuff going on. You can't have the brick and mortar too. That's like, don't do a brick and mortar. Like that's totally unrelated, totally different business.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's go with Angela.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you mentioned to Nina that she has a buying problem, and I was wondering how much, I guess, of your profits actually go back to the inventory, go back into investing on inventory.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering, because when you were talking to Nina, you mentioned that she has a buying problem, and I was wondering how much of your profits actually should be invested back into inventory.
How much of your, I think ideally 2 weeks of unlisted inventory would be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So it depends on how aggressive you are. You can reinvest all the money back in and your store will go really fast. Or you can take out 50%, put some in the savings, put some back in. Or some people have a fixed amount and they never put more in. So like, let's say, for example, there's a store in our group that they take out all the money. So for example, let's say they have a $3,000 in sales, their cost of goods 1,000, 1,000's fees. They make $1,000. They take all 1,000 out. So the store doesn't grow, keep it, and then just replenish the inventory and the store never grows. You don't need a store that grows. You could just keep it at the same level. The more money you reinvest back in, the faster it grows. And you have to have the ability to grow. I'm sorry, you don't have to have the ability to grow, but your expenses go up over time. So I would say, like, because the fees go up, shipping goes up, labor goes up, I would do like at least once a quarter, you need to list one more item to make up for that price difference. But yeah, a lot of people's, like, it's much easier to start something new than to get good at what you're doing. That's why people have a buying problem. Like, oh, I'll just buy these DVDs that are worth 1,000 for 100. That's easier than saying, you know what, I've got my own items that I need to squeeze the money out of and learn how to do it properly. Way easier to start something new. That's why people get stuck and they always start something new. Now I don't, like, if I meet somebody at a conference or something and they ask for my phone number, I just say no. Like, I don't have, like, unless I feel like it's really a good idea, like I have to say no. Otherwise, the maybe kind of screws people up. Like, maybe this is profitable. Maybe I'll learn this. Maybe I have time for a brick and mortar, but you really don't. 30 a day is a full-time commitment. 30 a day is six-figure income. So for most people, six-figure income is enough. At least start there. It's so interesting that most of this is just reducing. Arwen, what's up?
Hi, Chris. So just, I wanted to ask you a question. When it comes to growing our store, if you had to share with us a sort of like bucket list that we need to make sure to tick before going to the next level, what would it be? So I'm currently doing 15 a day and sort of selling between 13 and 15 a day. Yeah. And I've been hitting it pretty consistently for the last maybe month or so. I'm nearly at the 1%. I'm not nearly there yet, but obviously I don't want to go from 15 to now 20 or 25 listings every single day, because I still don't have your inventory system. I haven't done it yet. I'm still in like the boxes A, B, C, D, etc. And I know there's still old listings that I still need to correct. So what would it be to make sure that I need to have before growing?
So this is going to sound weird, but I think that your listings grow when your time grows. Like, if you have an hour to list on eBay and you list 15 and that's your goal, the only way to list more would be to improve your process so you can list 18. But so many people go from 15 to 30, but they still only have 1 hour to do eBay. You can't really double your efficiency. So you have to work an extra hour, or you need a little help, And that's difficult because London's talking about running out of time and wanting to scale. And if you can do what Tech did, and I finally learned, you have somebody photograph and list for you. That's the game changer. If you want to get rich, you get really, really good at photographing and listing, then you hire someone to do the exact same thing in person, not a VA. That's how you really, really scale. Most people never figure it out for their own store first. But if you do that, because my lister did 105 listings a day. So that's Hannah's income that she's looking for. She did Hannah's income for me. That's like, but you have to know how to do that yourself first. And then you can do that.
Can I say
London,
something?
what's up?
So I guess my fear is just because I'm selling all new with tags, I'm pretty reluctant to bring someone into list because, as you said, I'm new and I'm still learning how to do it. And I've been lucky. I get very, very lucky. But bringing someone into list scares me. And I don't want Veros. That's what I'm really afraid of.
Okay, so what I would do is when you do having somebody help you, you have to launch the listing that they draft. That's how you get around that. So just make sure that they draft for you, and then you go in and double check before you launch. Even when you get to that level, nobody should launch but you.
Got you. I feel like you've said that before. I feel so dumb right now. Thanks.
You're welcome. Richard, what's up?
Yeah, so I know people have brought up about shutting down their store and starting over, and some of the videos you had. So we actually did that last week. So we went through one night of all of our inventory, took out all the stuff because, like I said, in the last year we started a year ago, so it was a bunch of stuff that was bad sell-through rates, bad buys, stuff that is sold that we put up that just was really not good stuff. So we went through all that, pulled it, and we're just gonna have a yard sale and then redonate it, right? So we took probably at least a couple hundred items,
Over
maybe
300.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was over 300 items out of our store or out of our inventory. When we moved into our house, we already set up an inventory system, photograph system, and a shipping station. So we already have, which we didn't have in our townhome. So we had this, but I think our store was just kind of a mess, like I brought up. So we shut it down. And I think we just started listing again last Thursday. So we cleaned everything up, put everything in. So we started relisting. And I think we're up to 5 days. We're doing 20 a day for the last 5 days. So we're just hit 100 sales. We've been averaging about a sale a day on average. And so I guess my question on that would be what's next? Is it just, hey, stick with the grind, just continue to list every day? Is there anything else that you did or you would recommend doing after shutting down and continue to list? Is there anything, what would be next steps on that? Just continue to list and that's it?
It's just making sure that schedule is consistent each day. Like just like this calls at the same time every day, that's 99% of reselling is time management. It's just organizing it so that you get an order, because when you have a corporate job, they set that up all for you. And like
Right.
Chad sent a really good video of him doing stuff, but it like has music, it's edited, and that's because he has a checklist probably from his job that he knows to make a video cool. So you just need a checklist for how to make a listing sell and then do that.
I have a question to add on to that. Like you said, you recommended to Nina to like pull everything out of the packages and start completely over.
Yep.
I mean, so did you actually take everything out and re-photograph everything and like all of that?
I re-photographed and relisted everything. I shut down my old store.
That's wild.
Just kind of like to punish myself to not do that again.
Okay.
You don't have to, you can, but it's just more effective because eBay knows if you're listing an old item again. I wanted different pictures, different title, different everything.
Gotcha.
I wanted them to see a new me.
Okay.
Chad?
Yeah, so like in the spirit of moving slow and not wanting to punish myself later, I've been listing consistently, very consistently, a small number. I've just been selling domestically. I just added like a new shipping policy with the multiple discount, multiple items in one order. And so I feel like I'm okay with pulling the trigger on that. And now I'm thinking, okay, international shipping might boost my sales because I sell a lot of vintage tees and vintage jeans, and I know overseas those do well. So I kind of want to do that, but I don't know. I have about 300 items in my store. I don't know if you can bulk change that or if it's a one at a time thing. And then also with my older posts that don't have the shipping policy, can I go back and just change all those to the new shipping policy with the multiple item discount?
You can change 500 items at a time. And when you make business policies, you can change all of them at the same time.
Okay.
Yep. London.
And same with the shipping.
Same with the shipping.
The international.
We're going to go over business policies tomorrow to help streamline that. Okay, so I have one more thought too, because I got to go because of the baby. The thing to remember is that smooth is fast, not fast. Fast is always sloppy. There's no reason to go fast in anything with eBay. You can take your time, be really slow. Just have to be smooth. Can't lose items. Have to respond to all your messages. Have to ship everything on time. Have to list every day. 5 a day is $18,000 a year. That's a lot, right? That's not a small amount of money. But if you list 10 and then take the rest of the week off, that's not very much money. So you just got to make sure to stay consistent, Chad. The way that you're doing it is excellent, where you're not getting ahead of yourself and you're being introspective and thinking about what does this look like when it's done? Is it all you're doing is sourcing? Is London just buying the pallets, sorts it, sets it in the front of the building and says, thank you. And that's it. She goes back to her life and they photograph, list it, put it away. They ship, they answer all the questions. All she does is make sure the right stuff goes in the front. Is that your goal? Or is your goal to you personally list 30 a day, no headaches, don't have to deal with your workers' boyfriend problems? Like there's all of their problems are your problems. So it's not that easy to, unless you get to the point where you have an HR person that's taking care of those people, which is very hard. Even then, you're relying on the HR person. There's no hands off, but smooth is fast. So that's why it's easy to go to a job that you do the same thing every day. You can crush that. You don't need any experience or motivation. You just show up and do it. So with this call, I was actually thinking after this call ends, I might just leave this call open for you guys. And anybody who's in this group for a year, your store will probably triple. That's all just being in this group and tie another part of eBay before or after. And that's it. The little one's not feeling well today. So I'm going to take care of her.